you're mad. I'm doing Ninja Trader, and I'm going. I know how it is. Okay. So we ran up to previous structure. We've held, right? You guys can see the loss of momentum pattern that occurred there as well, right? High momentum move, and you see how we start to kind of slope off. We did actually have one final high momentum push up there, which is actually a positive thing. This would be a perfect level to look for that 3-bar reversal. That Stuart pin bar and lower low, lower close. Something of that sort. Again, the difficult part is choosing where that retracement is going to come to. I don't really have a great outlook. I wouldn't be too confident to say past this level. So there may not be a lot of meat on the bone. But I suppose, actually, the 4-hour gives us a little bit of a different look. That actually makes this into a rising channel. So this is a little bit more interesting. Give me a second. So we've got a rising channel here. It looks as if, let me separate my RSI here. Yeah, we've got divergence there as well on the RSI. Now this goes back to a conversation we had last week about the RSI zones and something you can look for. Maybe not in this scenario. This scenario is a little bit better because we actually do come up to previous structure highs. So this one's a lot easier to look for. But we talked last week about rising channels that kind of happen in the middle of nowhere, and look for a rotation in that RSI. So remember, that lower zone for the RSI is either going to be a 40 or a 33.3, depending on how you're using it. Look for that rotation as a confirmation. Now, what makes this one a little bit different is this one comes right into structure. So if you get an entry signal up here, a lower low, lower close, which you might have gotten already, yeah, you might have gotten already right there. That's a legitimate entry signal right here. That's a legitimate entry signal. Now, again, this flows perfectly into yesterday's conversation, right? Let's say you're just seeing this now for the first time, right? And you missed it. Well, yesterday we had our Q&A. If you didn't see it, go back and watch it. They're all archived, right? We talked about alternative reasons for entry. In the case of the trader, he was like, hey, what if I'm sleeping? But this can go for just, hey, maybe you just missed it, right? There is human error, right? 2 ways you can handle this, right? 1, enter at market, right? Price is currently trading above what your would-be entry would have been. There we go. It's a lot of woods in there. So trade it at market. You're getting a cheaper price point. Or put a sell stop, right? A sell stop right at your original entry. And therefore, if price action pushes down, then you're filled in that direction at the original price point that you want it to be in. So 2 ways. At market, get your cheaper price, right? The pro is you get a cheaper price. The con is that price may go up and never look back, and now you're involved in a straight loser, right? Or put a sell stop in, right? The con is that you don't get a cheaper price. It's a little bit more expensive. But the pro is that if price kind of continues to go up and doesn't look back, you were never in a trade. Right? And because we're right at structure, we know where stops need to be. Stops simply need to be above the highs, right? By whatever calculation you want to use. I use ATR. We know stops need to be above these highs. This is where we know we're wrong, right? Targets a few ways. I'm going to go and merge these things again. Give me a second here. Merge. Yeah. You can look for the low of the pattern formation, the low of the rising channel right here. This was the first retracement. You can get a pretty decent risk reward. Or if you're shooting for a little bit more relief, right? We have a few things you can look at. We got some inside level of structure here. I'd also want to take a 3D2 Fibonacci retracement and just see what that gives me. Let's see if there's any type of confluence there. So somewhere right around this level. Again, a lot of that's going to depend on your aggressiveness, but you've got multiple levels of inside structure. This could be, I would shoot for a bottom of this, just me personally. I don't think the risk of shooting, I mean, your 3D2 is here. This is how I think, right? My 3D2 is here. I might as well adjust up here. Right? Inside structure, that's right where I want to be at. For me, the risk isn't worth it. Unless you have some type of fundamental reason that you think this is going to continue lower. But I would just shoot for this. Remember, this is a counter trend trade. So in counter trend trades, we're not shooting for full reversals. We just want a little relief. So this is actually a pretty decent opportunity. I didn't notice this morning. I looked at the daily and saw the level just because I was glancing around, perusing charts. I didn't notice it was a rising channel. And again, a rising channel is a loss of momentum channel. It is, typically you would expect some period of relief, a little bit of kind of previous buyers who rode the wave all the way up. What are they doing at the top, right? To kind of put a little price psychology into it. If you're a buyer down here, what are you doing as we get in the structure? You're probably selling. Maybe not all, but you're selling a little bit. So all of a sudden, buyers are starting to become sellers. There are probably some new sellers interested there. How do we know? Because we've seen how price reacted in the past, right? Price got to this level in the past, and what do? We sold off. And humans are pretty predictable. Where there's an area where we sold off before, there will probably be people there waiting to sell again. And then, of course, you don't have any new buyers here because a lot of new buyers aren't interested at getting involved in the very highs. They're going to wait for a cheaper price point. So essentially what we're saying is you don't have as many people interested in buying. You have more people interested in selling. Now, again, who's to say that the new buyers won't be interested again once we get down here and it's cheap enough again, right? That's why I'm not saying we're going to reverse all the way down. You kind of want to get in, get yours, and get out. That's my opinion, at least.